playing with Play-Doh here. Oh. I'm going to talk a little bit about how things are possibly changing. And really, a lot of us have been warned for several years about life is going to change. And we're going to need to take care of ourselves. We're going to need to be able to take care of ourselves, even health-wise, to a certain extent, possibly. You know, we've grown so dependent on services. We become so dependent on products, sophistication, electronics, services, food services, medical services, you know, whatever. And the thing is, if life is changing for us, we're going to have to learn to take care of ourselves. And that means take care of our health. That means have some home remedies. That means solve some problems ourselves. That might mean you can't run to the doctor all the time. That might mean the hospitals are full. The drive-thrus for your fast food are closed. You know, things that especially millennials, but even older, but I'm just saying, you know, after the baby boomer generation, you know, I would say just a lot of people are not like savvy about survival if they had to, you know, about growing anything, about treating an ailment at home, which is stuff you have in the house, how to build a fire. I mean, you know, just stuff that's, that probably farm people 100 years ago, you know, they're just things they knew how to do. And the fact of the matter is, we really don't need all the products of today, all these specified products of all kinds that they've insisted that you have a need for. And, you know, some of them are good, but I'm just saying it's created a dependency. It's created a dependency to get our needs met outside of our home all the time by other people, by things that cost money, and like I say, a dependency on products and services. That's the kind of society that, you know, we've had for 100 years or more. And we're going to need to learn to take care of ourselves. And some of that is very basic. It's not expensive. We just need to get wisdom and information and begin to think differently about our lives. One example is, what do I always put like fragrance on before I do it. Is that weird? That's weird, huh? I'll do my commercial. The new fragrance, COVID-19. He'll break quarantine for you for this one. And how it's done. COVID-19. Pheromones that'll travel 3 miles to where he is in quarantine. He won't be able to socially distance himself from you. I didn't work on that enough. Okay. Anyway, one of the issues is, what are you going to do with yourself if you're stuck at home? So far as we know, we have internet, things like that. But what are you going to do if you're stuck at home with nothing to do? And you're not used to that. That's one of the things to consider. Uh-oh. Oh. That's my Play-Doh. That is something to consider. What can you do to busy yourself if you're going to have to be home for a week or 2 or 3, you know? Reading, coloring, Play-Doh, or finishing some things. I'm kind of, because I just felt this blank, like what now kind of thing, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm here. This is where I am. So I'm trying to get my house in order. You know, I'm going to go through things and make sure that I'm organized with things that I have, that I know where they are, and just simplify, simplify, simplify. And it's also a time where if you're stuck at home, you could get a few things done. You know, if we do have kind of there was an email or something sent around about someone being told by relatives who work for the government that there might be a national lockdown, and which of course would mean they would be enforcing that too. Whether that would kind of be like martial law, I don't really know what that would entail. But obviously, you just couldn't. You'd have curfews, and you just couldn't go out anywhere. So we don't know how to entertain ourselves or do things because we've always, you know, looking outside for entertainment or stimulation or whatever, and at the expense of relationships, really, and things that really matter, and at the expense of actually being able to draw close to the one who is our source of life, God. And a lot of people cannot sit still. A lot of people cannot be still. They have to have noise on. They have to have a TV on. They have to have music on. They have to be playing a game, looking at social media, whatever. And you know, I'm guilty of the social media thing. But what if we don't have that and we have to let our brains reset to a quieter, slower mode? What are you going to do if you're home? So that's the one thing. You know, this thing may pass, but there may be another. We don't know. I mean, of course, I attach this to biblical prophecy. I do think this thing was man-made. I don't know who was intended, or if it was the higher-ups, or I don't really think it was China. I don't know, but I do kind of think this thing is man-made. It's just hard to tell, you know, about things, why, and there's a lot of reasons, you know, there's different theories or whatever. And, you know, some of the conspiracy theories can end up being true, but we just have to sometimes set things on the shelf till we find out. But either way, it would be wise to learn to be at home more and learn to be doing something at home, relating to each other, doing satisfying, meaningful things together, getting our homes in order, making home a place where we can be, and not being dependent on always having social media and games and things to stimulate the brain. That's the one thing. Second thing is to stop being dependent on restaurants, drive-thrus, you know, getting enough groceries just to last a few days. We are past that. You need to have enough groceries minimum a month. You need to always keep stocked up, always buy extras. I didn't say hoard and panic and be stingy. I said it's wisdom to, you know, pick up a few extra things just so that, you know, even if you've got to buy the Asian soups, you know, you can get them without MSG now. You know, just keep something in your home so that if something happens, you have something to eat if you can't get to the store. And the other issue with this is, along with cooking more at home, things like that, which that's been happening to me before all this. There's been this sense of I need to cook more for myself, or graze, or whatever I'm going to do on things that I know are better for me and things that I prepare. You know, I was raised eating out at diners. You know, I had a single parent, and I've spent my life eating out at least several times a week usually. Like, my favorite is Asian buffets. Bet they're going to have some coupons going on. But, you know, who knows what we'll see with restaurants. I don't know, you know. But it would make sense that, you know, as people go out less, some of these service industries just like airlines and probably hotels and cruise liners, you know, all the excess fringes of luxuries and convenience are going to scale down if people aren't working, or they're sick, or they're quarantined, or there's just not enough people going out. You know, we'll just have to see what happens with this, but it's good to be prepared. So making your own food and just be simple, you know, live simply. It's nice to have fresh, you know, vegetables or fruits or whatever, but you need canned things, you know, you don't just want stuff that's going to go bad in 3 days and it's gone. So, okay. Rice, beans, pasta, things like that. And, you know, applesauce, peanut butter, you know, Asian soups. Hi. What are you doing? Come here. What? What do you want? You want mommy open the door? Okay. Hold on. Mommy open the door. Echo. 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 All right, baby. There. What, Andy? Come here. I love you. I love you, boy. Sorry. Dear mama, little beagle boy. He's a beagle now that he had his cut. He's all kinds of dogs, but he's all kinds of precious. Okay, so what to do if you're at home with yourself, a new way of living, a new mindset, with eating, with going out for products and services. You know, there are things we can do for our health at home. And one thing that really frustrates me is the health industry that supposedly cares about people and the price of their stuff. Really, don't even say organic to me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any of that. You know, Aldi's a great store. You can find most of what you need there that would be beneficial. And then there's a few more things I can't get there. But, you know, just like vitamins, you know, I'm not going to pay $40 for a bottle of vitamins that lasts 1 month. I'm just not going to do that, you know. So some of my vitamins are from Walmart, but I know when I'm getting a benefit from them. And another thing you can do is, like at GNC, when things are getting ready to expire, they mark them down like 75%. So I got this hair, skin, and nails vitamin kit for like $6. So wisdom, you know. So we need to learn to use garlic and onions and, you know, turmeric and cinnamon and ginger and cayenne, cider vinegar, you know. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do at home, but what I'm saying is we need to stop depending on, oh, I just got to go to the doctor and get some drugs. And the reality is there's too much of that. You know, thank God for the wisdom he's given doctors for medical care. That is not an issue here. But, you know, there are things we can do at home to take care of ourselves. Going to get pills at the pharmacy, but not taking care of yourself at home is not going to make you healthy. It isn't. And we need to boost up and be hearty and healthy now. And I made some chicken soup last night with all kinds of good things. So another thing is don't ever throw away. Don't ever throw away if you've got pain pills left or whatever, you know, medicines that somehow you don't take or whatever. Don't throw them away. Just, yeah, they're expired, but just stow them away somewhere because in a pinch, okay? In a pinch. So don't like freak out if something's a little expired. Don't be wasteful. Let me shut that door. Eddie, what are you doing? What are you doing, buddy boy? Okay. So, what's the other? We need to learn. We should be our own advocate anyway, taking care of ourselves. You know, we need to learn to take care of ourselves and not depend on everything outside all the time. Because, you know, it could happen, as we've seen with this, where hospitals are full. They're loaded to the gills. And that you just need to keep that in mind and have some ideas and solutions and wisdom and information at home to take care of certain things. Because some things you may have things in the house you can do to take care of yourself, and probably better than anything that you would be given. So, but I'm thankful, a few weeks ago, I must have had a pinched nerve, and I was down for about a week. I mean, walking was like at a level 7.5 pain out of 10. I mean, I couldn't walk. I couldn't even stand to make coffee. It was so uncomfortable. I couldn't get comfortable. So I ended up going to the chiropractor, thankfully. I did get a massage at the chiropractor and got acupuncture. I was still hurting for that whole week. And I even went into urgent care and got a shot in my hiney, a steroid shot. And I don't really like doing that, but you know what? When you're in pain, So anyway, so this whole thing of taking care of our health that's been coming for a while. Not being out in mainstream life so much, that's been happening to me. Maybe for other reasons, but I don't know. I mean, maybe the Spirit of God, without my realizing it, has been distancing me and pulling me back to where I can just be at home. And a lot of people that's hard for some people. I mean, there are just some people that if they can't be busy with their brain going and going and going and going, I mean, they're on a wheel, So what if life quiets down and you don't have that wheel to run on? It's going to take your brain a while to settle down. So getting our houses in order, going through things, getting rid of stuff we don't need, organizing, just making your home, using the time now, especially if you're staying home more, especially if we end up having to stay home more. We'll see. I'm going to do some painting and some things, hopefully just finish a few things. And, this is where I am. So, try to not just abandon ship. And so that's a thing. Financially, it just isn't a time to be buying and buying stuff, getting in debt. It just isn't a time, I don't believe, to be doing that. It's a time to simplify, to get rid of the excess fluff and learn to live kind of basic and learn how to live in a new kind of way. People talk about safe havens. They've got them all over. This is generally Christians. This is not about stockpiling and all that, hoarding and panic. This is about people preparing what they feel led by the Lord to do to prepare for times to come so people have a place to go. The big cities, they say, you just don't want to be living in a big city, and you don't want to be living on the coasts, the east or the west coast. So anyway, so there are people that we'll see, that really do feel, get out of the cities, go back to working the land, learn to do life by faith and by wisdom, and learn to do a few things yourself, get more self-sufficient, to where you're not reliant, because I'm telling you, that's why people, when they're used to instant gratification, now, and especially if they've never had to really kind of work for anything or never had to take responsibility, or everything was just always instant, right? What do? You're hungry. I'm going to the drive-thru. I need money. I'm going to the bank, to the drive-thru. Everything. I'm going to order this online, and everything you have, is instant. And when that isn't there, there's people don't know how to sew a stitch. People don't know how to do their laundry. Just a lot of really, just some real basic things, but even just how to fix something or an alternate way to do something, Like I heard, everybody's freaked out about hand sanitizer. I don't use hand sanitizer. I don't buy hand sanitizer. I just don't buy stuff like that. I think soap and water, white vinegar is good, baking soda, or bleach, whatever. But, I don't buy that stuff. But, like someone was saying, you can mix alcohol and aloe vera gel and make your own sanitizer if that's it, There are things you can do creatively at home within your home. So, mass-produced industrial society, high-tech, dependent on products and services is what we are. So when people don't have that, they get very scared and panicky, and their personality turns to desperation and to places you've never seen, acting ways you've never seen them be. I don't want to be one of those, okay? That's why it's like, Lord, you're my resource, ultimately. He's given me wisdom for the last 5-6 years, both me and my mom, about kind of changing the way you're thinking about life. And a lot of people mock and scoff. Yeah, those Bible, they've been saying that for years. Well, this is the United States of America. No, we could never be attacked. This is the United States of America. We could never be with a food shortage or without goods. We could never be shut down. This is the United States of America. Well, guess what? So I didn't even know on the yesterday was the day for prayer. I didn't even know. I'm just tongue-tied how to even pray. I don't know. Because if God is doing something, or if he's allowing this thing, I don't want to pray against something that he's doing. And I also don't want to pray, make America great again. That's just not where I am. I'm just not, that's not where I am. That's going backwards. So maybe there's something wrong with me. I don't know, but I'm just telling you the truth. I don't, that is not my ultimate goal in life. Maybe I'm just really naive, but that's not my ultimate goal in life, is just get this country and get the stuff back. Get the stuff back so I'm comfortable. Well, man does not live by bread alone, right? But every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God, and that's where we're lacking, is living by him first. We've lived by the arm of the flesh and been caught up in all this entertainment and sports and getting stuff and gifted children and having the smartest kid here and having the best clothes here and the Me Too and the blah blah and the woman power and the immorality. Really bad. I've said this is really exposure 2020, It's better to expose ourselves than be exposed. And so that's part of the cleaning house here. So it's a symbolic and literal, figurative and literal, or however you put it, cleaning of the house. Us and our lives, and getting to where we don't have so many distractions pulling us in different directions, to where we can really hit the eye of the needle of what's important right now. What's a priority? What is heaven saying right now? What are you supposed to be focusing on, targeting right now in your life? Where are you supposed to be? Who are you supposed to be with? What's important? So that's the best I can say. That's the best I can do in saying all this, but don't rely on, it's going to be a different, things may change. Maybe things, I don't know, but be prepared. I've said that. Be prepared, because I don't think things are going to get better. And that's not doom and gloom. That's just because we have been blessed to be in this crazy end times. And far as the Antichrist, I know there's about 5 people that People have said, oh, they're the Antichrist, they're the Antichrist. You know, I don't know. You know, I would say this. I do believe we will know in time, and maybe one of these people is right about who it is. It's not Trump. That's so ridiculous. That's so, you know, they thought Gorbachev was the Antichrist because he had a birthmark in '88. Just remember that. Just remember how we can get and we're wrong. So I would say this, though, when people talk about the Antichrist, that's a very big accusation. That's a horrible thing to say about someone. You better doggone be weak and trembling and humble when you say that, and you better say it only if he's led you to say that in the right circle of people. That's a horrible, that really is damning that person's soul. That is saying you are the worst demon-infested, totally 100%, going to be 100% possessed human being that ever lived on this earth. Evil, pure evil. And you will live in hell forever, and you're going to be the most awful person that's ever lived. That's a serious accusation. So throwing around the Antichrist thing, we need to be careful. So I think that's all for now. We just need to learn wise ways to take care of ourselves better and not be so reliant. And our health, we need to focus on taking care of our health. And if you do take medicines, try to keep a stock of those, especially if you take antidepressants, things like that, or really important medicines. Make sure you keep a stock of those. I mean, some of those things are important. So, all right, going out.